Welcome everybody to Paraty. This is a very cute city in the state of Rio de Janeiro still, and it is famous for the colonial architecture, as you can see, and the cobblestone street. We left Rio de Janeiro. Hi Mariana.
Hi, good morning.
We still haven't had coffee, so the brain might be a bit slow, both of us. So we left Rio de Janeiro and we drove around 3.5–4 hours and we found ourselves here. Paraty is very important because during the gold rush and even after that, throughout history of Brazil, it has had a lot of significance, which we will definitely talk about. First thing, the name of the city, Paraty, comes from a native language called Tupi. And in that language, Paraty, it means river of fish. They referred to the city with this name because apparently there was always an abundance of kind of fish in this region. So the natives would refer to this part or village that used to exist here before as Paraty. And that's where the origin of the name comes from. Where we are now is the historic center, as you can see, and it is just full of beautiful colonial architecture, and everywhere you go there is something to look at. But first thing I wanted to show you is the building over there on the corner, because we have to talk about that too. It's very interesting. So throughout the city you see a lot of buildings that have this kind of facade that are signs of Freemasons. The signs on the facades were done on purpose because they wanted everybody to know that the owner of the property was a member of the Freemasons. And you see these kinds of buildings also in the historic center a lot. There are a lot of buildings that have these signs throughout the historic center. Now, going back to the history, Paraty originally used to be just a village, and it was founded in 1597. Then after that, Portuguese came here, and in 1667 the Portuguese gave it the status of a city. Here you have another example of the houses that have the signs of the Freemasons on the facade, and it's a huge house actually right on the corner. So, Paraty was actually given a lot of importance because it was part of the route that the Portuguese would use to go from the mountains of Minas Gerais. There was actually the last point of that route was a city called Diamantina, and from there they would bring the gold to this city, Paraty, because Paraty also has a coast, it has access to the water. From here, they would send it by ship to Rio de Janeiro, and then from Rio de Janeiro, the gold would go to Portugal. There was a lot of problems with this route because at some parts it's very steep, so they had to use slaves for labor, and also there was a lot of pirates. So a lot of the time, the convoy that was carrying the gold that was taken from the mountains of state of Minas Gerais to get here, they would get attacked and the gold was stolen. And this kind of negatively impacted Paraty in terms of economics because the Portuguese decided to change the route and made another one. This old one was called Caminho Velho, and then they came up with a new one, Caminho Novo, which would go directly from Minas to the Rio de Janeiro port, which they didn't have to go here and then ship it again to Rio and then send it to Portugal. It was better, but economically was not very positive thing for Paraty. And this Caminho Novo, it was made in 1732, and also was in most of the parts it was flat. So even carrying the cargo and everything else was easier because it was not steep and mountainous roads. But then after the gold rush was done, then what happened was the coffee, the business of coffee, that was very, very popular and very profitable. It was again important for this region and again put Paraty on the map. Along the years as well, there was the production of sugar because there was sugarcane production and then cachaça, and that too has really helped the economy. And nowadays also because of the history, tourism is another major economic factor. The historic center being historic center, it is also closed to all the cars. So only people and horses, they can come here, and bicycles. But cars are not allowed to come on these streets. I think only on Wednesdays, I read, only on Wednesdays for deliveries and to bring supplies, but other days no cars allowed.
One thing very interesting about Paraty is that it was built at very sea level, actually maybe even a little bit lower. So it makes, like, when it rains a bit or like the tide comes up, the whole city floods on the streets, and as you can see, like, they're all curvy, and in the end there is the sea. So you can see that the sea can easily come inside and then flood the city. This is actually because at that time people, they didn't have bathrooms inside of the house, so they would throw everything on the streets. So, like, of course it was much easier than if you have a flood that takes everything back to the sea to clean up the streets. So that's one of the reasons.
So I don't want to even imagine the smell on the streets at the end of the day, because they would use the tide, no? The tide would come up and then would come and wash everything, all the streets.
Or if there is rain or anything, like, it is supposed to flood. The city was built in a way that the streets, they flood so that everything can be clean.
Yeah, and nowadays you see there is like these wells for sewage, I think. Here, but they didn't exist, obviously, and that was how they got rid of the sewage.
Yes. So another thing also very interesting about Paraty is that the streets, they are all curvy. They are not straight, like built in a straight way. They all have this curve, so everywhere you look, you never see the end of the street. So you don't know where the street is going and what is expecting you in the end of the street. And actually this was also done on purpose to avoid the attacks from pirates. So the pirates, they would come and from the sea, but they couldn't actually know which street they should be better to attack at the time, because they never knew what was expecting them in the end of the street, because they are all curvy. And apparently at the time it was a lot of attacks because of gold. They knew that this was like a hub for all the gold that was taken out of Minas Gerais and being brought here. So then, of course, they wanted to come here to steal the gold. But again, when you don't know what is expecting you in the end of the street, you don't go there.
And walking on the street also you find goodies like this. My God, this is beautiful. Amazing. So many different types of typical sweets. There is pudim de leite or the kerm caramel. Then they have brigadeiros right on the corner over there. This is a typical Brazilian one. Then there is cocada, I believe. Lemon cake. Wow, this is amazing. Very tempting. Also, population of Paraty is around 43,000 people, and this cute city, of course, it's not a surprise, but worth mentioning that in 2019 it was considered as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Also along the road, on the main streets that you walk, there is a lot of street vendors and so many cute boutiques like for souvenirs, dresses for the ladies and all the other products, and also cachaça. Cachaça because historically it's been very famous here to make, and it's been like over I think 200 years that production of cachaça has existed here. Another thing I wanted to mention, there are other tours that you can do as well. We wanted to come here, we're here only for one day, so we decided to come here to see the historic center, but there is also another activity, it's called the Jeep tour. Us, because we have a Jeep and we always go everywhere. Mariana and I, we joke like we do a Jeep tour every day actually. So for us that wasn't an option, also because there's only one day that we're here. Another thing is there is a lot of waterfalls all around here. That's another tourist activity also that you can do. It's worth doing it when the weather is a bit warmer. Us today, it's even like cloudy, so even for filming, it's not an ideal day. It's still beautiful. But for the waterfalls also, it's better when it is sunny and the water is not cold, so you can go inside and swim as well. So these are the other two activities that you can do near Paraty. And this building on the corner of this street used to be the post office, apparently. In 1930, there's this tile on the corner. Now it's a cachaça store. I would say it's an upgrade. Wow. All different types and flavors of cachaça. Wow. So we decided to also stop and buy some goodies. We bought these 5. There is lemon, passion fruit, coconut. This one is with peanuts, and the one that you got is what?
It's the cheese and coconut.
Cheese and coconut, the one on the corner. And it's 12 reais each, so all of this together becomes 60 reais. Wow, and this building has a sign on top. It says 1699. So most probably that's the year that it was actually built. 1699. Wow. And right on the corner of Rua Santa Rita, there is this restaurant, Restaurante Santa Rita, Paraty. This is the oldest restaurant in Paraty, and it is written here, O mais antigo de Paraty. This from 1962. This restaurant has been open, and even inside the decoration was really, really cute. And this restaurant has a very, very traditional drink called Jorge Amado that is typical of this region, with cachaça, of course. So we just ordered one, What is it exactly? Because I don't know it.
So it's with cachaça. It's called the cachaça is called Gabriela, which is also produced here. And then there is cloves, cinnamon, passion fruit, and other things that I don't. I think lemon. Other things that I don't remember. I'm gonna wait for him to bring it. Then I'm gonna ask you exactly what it is.
All right. Let's see.
From that to this.
Oh yeah, and you can see the history from that to this. Oh. They have some nice furniture as well, and paintings. Oh, and some old cash registers. Wow. So the drink came. Let's give it a try, Mariana.
So it's passion fruit, sugar, cachaça, lemon,
Ice.
clove, and cinnamon.
And ice.
And nice. It's good.
Yeah?
It's very different. Reminds me of drinks for winter, actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So let me try. Yeah, it's sour, but you can feel the taste of the cachaça. Very fruity, no? A mix of passion fruit and lemon. It's acidic too, but then not that sweet.
No, not at all.
Very good. Definitely, you should try it if you're here. Oh, and the drink is, at this restaurant, it's 30 reais. One correction about what we mentioned about how the drink is made. Go ahead.
It's actually cachaça with distilled with cloves and cinnamon. So that's why it's even this color.
Ah, so the taste of cinnamon in the drink is because it has
cachaça,
the...
because of the cachaça that it's distilled with cloves and
cinnamon.
Oh,
okay.
Which is, and then it's called Gabriela.
So this cachaça, they use it and then they mix it with lemon and passion fruit and ice.
Passion fruit and ice.
And
sugar.
then it's called Jorge Amado.
And then this is because Jorge Amado is a writer, very famous writer in Brazil, so they decided, and he wrote Gabriela Cravo Caramba.
Which was a soap opera, you said?
It was actually a book, then became a soap opera.
Okay. So, be the real Brazilian and have a taste of the cachaça, the pure cachaça. Then the rest I will do the sacrifice. Is it strong?
For me it's strong.
Okay, let me see. Oh yeah, even the smell, it's different than just regular cachaça.
Yeah, you can smell the cloves and
cinnamon.
the cinnamon. And taste it too.
Yeah, it's sweet.
Yeah.
It's not very strong like alcohol, like kick that you get when you have pure cachaça. No, this is pure too, but like the regular one that is just from sugar cane. This, no, it's very sweet. If you watched our video, the first video we did in Rio actually, as part of our tour, I tasted some different flavors of cachaça. In that place they mentioned the ones that have a different flavor, they are actually weaker in terms of the concentration of alcohol. They're like around 22, 23. The pure cachaça is around 47% alcohol. So this I can handle this. Saúde. And of course, being in a colonial city in Brazil, you won't be short of churches. If you have seen our videos of Minas Gerais also, you know,
and
church after church.
All the other cities.
All the other cities, church after church after church. So we didn't want to visit all of the churches today in this video, but this one we just passed by it. And this is the one that was built for the slaves,
yes.
right? Yeah. So.
And this is for the slaves. Then we also found out that there is a church that was only for the ladies, and another church that was like for the ladies and the gentlemen, but not for the slaves. Of
but that one, they say it was like kind of like for the elites, no?
Yeah,
like...
they are for the elites, not the slaves, of course. Mm-hmm. But even that, they were separated for the ladies and then for everybody, and then this one for the slaves.
Yeah. And it's right by the water where you have all of the cute, famous, colorful boats of Paraty that we're going to show you. And walking by the water, you can really see what Mariana earlier explained, that the water from the sea would come to the city. And even, it looks like even today, earlier, when the tide was higher, there was water here and here as well. And that's how the water would just wash everything, mostly sewage, at the time, and would take it to the sea. And here you can see that it still happens.
One tip is to come with very comfortable shoes. It's not very comfortable walking on the stones on the streets and the sidewalks. Everything is
like this. So as you're walking, you really have to watch your steps, and definitely wear comfortable shoes so you don't get hurt and you don't twist your ankles or fall down.
Also, Paraty being the city that is
built almost under the sea level, you see that even the parking signs, it says do not park, because it's the entrance of the tide, or like, I'm just trying to translate, but basically the sign means that here, if you park your car and you leave it, when the tide is higher and the water comes here, it can just wash away your car completely. So even that, there is a sign for the parking mentioning that.
One more thing that is important to know also, being a very touristic place and a small city, it's also very safe. You don't need to worry about safety at all. A lot of people, mostly foreigners actually, we saw. And everybody with cell phones, with cameras, taking pictures, recording everything, no issues at all.
All right, this ends our video of Paraty. We were here only one day, so it was a quick stop for us. This video will be also the last video from the state of Rio de Janeiro, because we are leaving the state and tomorrow we're going to another state. So more videos from a new state will come up also. We hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed the video, give us a like to support the rating of the video. Thank you for watching and see you next time.
Bye.